Alright, man, we back on sports, and I'm going to say this right now, okay? Because it's going to get real today. Before I even get started on sports, it's all going to be sports related. I do have to take my aims at the city at this point. Because I'm going to put it like this. As much as I love Philly, Philly is a shithole. It is. And for the previous, now that's what, 2015, about 3 years now. For those who know, my regulars know, you new guys probably don't know, because a lot of y'all was like, you know, who this dude? Y'all trying to hit me with the beanie man, like, who am I? Like, y'all trying to hit me with that. For those who don't know, in my off time, I do a lot of renovations when it comes to sports. We renovate basketball courts, you know what I mean? We'll start from basketball courts, the football fields, the street hockey rinks, and we don't even need to do ice hockey at this point due to the fact that Ed Snyder, was the owner of, the Flyers, he started renovating ice hockey rinks. He just, not too long ago, about a year ago, did one in Southwest Philadelphia, okay? So, just to let you know, that's the landscape that we do here, alright? I told you dudes before on here, just because you talk Philly sports doesn't mean it always has to be professional. Especially if you're in the thick of it down here, you know there's more going on in the sports scene than just Sixers, Flyers, Phillies, Eagles, Union. You know this. You know this. So that's how we want to start this off today. I want to start off with one, city council. Because once again, and people know, as I said, for those y'all don't know, I've been battling with city council for a very long time. Just not too long ago, I talked about the indoor Philly bike track. I'll talk about that too, because there's an update on that. But check this out. I want y'all to hear this, alright? Final meeting on redesign of Love Park renovations that they're going to be doing soon. Yeah. So they're going to renovate Love Park. Look, this is the third time now you have dicked us over when it comes to renovations, city. How many times do I have to come knock on your door? For people who've been following me for years, you saw on Twitter the battles between me and Mayor Nutter. And they would push me off on his assistant, or push me off on the youth chief advisor. They always do this. They just keep running every time you try to direct something at them. All the time. Just not earlier last week. What happened last week? The president was like, oh, well, he's taking YouTuber comments on the State of the Union address. And what did I say on Twitter? I said, yeah, but, and for those who don't know, because I was going to have I scheduled an interview with the president, and I was denied that interview to talk about renovations in poor areas, in urban areas, and how it can lift things up. Because as we know, they've taken away after-school programs, they've taken away the music, the art and arts of school, and now you're tearing down the basketball courts. What are these kids in these bad areas supposed to do now? Huh? What are they supposed to do? Because they can't afford, as we know, they can't afford the video games. You know how easy it is to buy a basketball and get a bunch of people together just to play? It's not like baseball, and people love to say baseball is very expensive. Yes, it is expensive for people who don't have the money, because as we know, it turns out, you got to buy all this equipment and carrying on. It's not like with football, because in Pop Warner Leagues, you pay X amount of dollars, and they give you that equipment for free. Okay? It may be raggedy, it may be beat up, but guess what? That's the equipment you're going to wear for that season, and then you take it back to the club. You don't keep that equipment. You understand what I'm saying right now? Like I said, this is Philly. It's not even just about Philly. This happens in every hood, in every state, around the world also. But no one wants to talk about this. See, this is the difference between me and other people right now. But I want to get back to this Love Park thing, okay? Because they're talking about how they're going to renovate Love Park. And then say, well, you could come out to the final meeting and see what's going on. Why? What's the point? You already have it in plan. You already have the blueprints. You already have everything down packed. Why do you need the public to come out and say, well, we don't know if we like it or not? It's not going to matter. You're going to go forward with it anyway. You dicked this over when it came to the Philly cycling track. For those who don't know the indoor track, it's already on the track to going forward. That's one. Love Park, that's two. Dilworth Plaza, that's the third one. Okay? Because for those who don't know, Dilworth Plaza, remember, all that construction that you saw in Philly going on, what did I say? They was trying to make it look like Rockefeller Center by putting the ice rink, all right, in front of City Hall. Yeah, because that really needed that, didn't it? Now they want more construction. So all this money that is going into these projects, and remember, when I talk to the mayor, what do you say? We don't have the money. We don't have the money to help renovate. Go to Parks and Recreation, what they say? We don't have the money to renovate the basketball courts. What happened? Got the community together. Start doing that. Remember the videos I did when I talked to, I was talking to basketball players right there in front of the courts while people were playing to see how they felt about things? Basketball is a big deal. When I tried to talk to the police, what happened? And I said, we need to have a cops versus community type thing so that the cops can start to learn who the people are in their community so we can have this stop and frisk shit stopped. And then they denied that. They declined that. Now the mayor want to come out all of a sudden and say, well, we need to do better, we need to have better, relations with people in the urban community when it comes to cops. You didn't want to listen. You didn't. Remember when I talked about the homeless deal? And I said, people, for those who don't know, outside of Philadelphia, I don't know how it is in your state, but if you see a homeless person and you give them something, whether it's food or a pair of old shoes or something, you can be fined for doing a good act. You can, yes, you. This is what Philadelphia has come to. It has become a complete shithole. And as far as I'm concerned, when all of us are trying to get together and trying to get things done, it gets worse and worse. So you have the money for the renovations for all this other bullshit, but you don't have it for the basketball courts to keep the kids off the street. And I told you before in the video, now that it's cold, this is the best time to renovate because no one's going to build those courts because it's too cold. They're going to go indoors if they can find an indoor court. Because like I said before, indoor courts close from 3 to 5 o'clock. So by the time the kids get out of school, take the bus and go wherever they have to go, they don't want to get to a court, it's already closed. See? That's what I'm talking about. But it gets worse. Because, for those who don't know, because, the mayor, he had his cronies into this whole renovation, all right? With also one Daryl Clark. And for those who don't know, Daryl Clark is responsible for putting all liquor ads on places everywhere here in Philadelphia. So here's some right here at Spring Garden Station. Also, here's some billboards to show you they want you to keep drinking. And let's not forget good old SEPTA. That's right, SEPTA. We don't have any money, SEPTA. I'll get on that in a minute. SEPTA wrapped around having liquor ads all over their bus. I mean, splashed across the entire damn bus. So when you out-of-state people say, well, Eagles fans, they're always drunk, and Philly fans, this is how they act, now you see why. Remember, this is the same SEPTA that says, we don't have any money. Yet they made this deal with the city to get money. You understand that? Now you see how it is. This is a small sample. I can go outside right now and start recording random SEPTA buses, going down the street, and you would see liquor ad after liquor ad. Now look, if you're okay with drinking, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that either because you're making it your choice. But when you're simply splashing it all over the place, drink, 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 drink. How is anyone supposed to think about anything? Keep them drunk, keep them stupid so that you can keep making these type of deals. And yet, we have football fields that are rotting away, basketball courts that are being taken down. But you know what? They don't want to talk about that. But as soon as something violent happens, and we did this experiment, did we not, people? On Twitter, we did it everywhere, all right? Show me violence that, because there was an article where people were saying there's too much violence on basketball courts needs to be shut down. That's what they talked about, did they not? Right? And then you guys responded on Twitter saying, I'm at my basketball court right now. They were taking pictures and sending me the stuff on Twitter saying, look, no violence. A bunch of guys playing, no violence. Here's my basketball court. I'm from here. No violence. It is a direct shot at what's going on here. This is what they think of us in basketball community, sports community in general. Every time they tell you, oh, you sit on your ass and you drink, or the kids are sitting on their ass and they're playing video games and they need to get out more, and we did this before, did we not? When I did that video. And I said, okay, well, the kids are sitting on their ass too long, and you want them to get out and be more active and get into sports, and then you turn around and say, the dangers of sports. Don't play football because of this. Don't do gymnastics because of this. So what the hell do you expect the parents to do with their kids? This is what I'm talking about. They said we can get knee deep into this if you want to, but I know y'all came for the regular stuff. I know y'all want me to talk about football and all these type of things. Let's just get into it. I'm telling y'all, understand. I could just dig into Philly so much. Philly, you got 2 years, man. You got 2 years. And I say that because if things don't change within 2 years, I'm ghost. Seriously, I cannot do this anymore. It's one thing to live and grow up in Philadelphia, but I refuse to live and die in Philly. Not like this. No. It's ridiculous. And like I said, it's not just Philly. It's everywhere. People in Chicago always talk to me about this. People in Detroit talk to me about this. Like I said, all you regulars, we not talked about this before. And it's not getting better. For everything. And like I said before, when I gave a shout to Chicago, because for those who don't know, they have in place a system where they renovate basketball courts. They have their own retainer of money where it goes right to basketball courts and renovating playgrounds and parks. We don't have that here. But the mayor real quick to sit and talk about anything else, right? He's so quick to run his mouth about anything. Fuck! Let's just get on with this sports thing. NFC Championship, Seattle Packers. Oh my God, let's get something straight. First off, anybody, I'm getting this out the way. Anybody who has ever said, well, my sports team isn't in it anymore, I'll never watch the game. I won't watch the rest of these playoffs. That game, Packers-Seattle, is a good example why you should have watched even if your team wasn't in it. So from now on, as far as I'm concerned, anybody who says that excuse, that's not justifiable anymore. That was a hell of a game. Both teams seemed like they didn't want to win. I mean, let's be honest here. The Packers choked it away. And I feel bad for Packers fans because they was on the up and up for a while. But let's be honest here. In the beginning, this game should have been a blowout. All right? But they settled for field goals, and you kept Seattle into this game. Now, here's a problem I have, all right? Because at halftime, it is 16-0. Remember, the Eagles were down against the Jaguars 21-0. And we just booed them. We didn't leave, though, did we? No. 16-0 NFC Championship game. Seattle fans are leaving the stadium. That's right. They pulling the Miami Heat. They leaving the stadium, and then when Seattle started coming back, they wanted to come back into the game, and they were denied a re-entry. That's right. I will put the link in the info bar. It is absolutely ridiculous. That's what we saw. So Seattle fans, now we just talked about this last week, because Seattle fans, y'all scouted out, your frauds. And you showed, this is how many fans we had way before, I don't know if y'all can hear that or not, that siren going on. There it is again. I'm sure it's getting closer so y'all can hear it. Anyways, Seattle fans, y'all pointed out last week how many fans you had before you won the Super Bowl and then after you won the Super Bowl. So you were on patrol of your own fan base. It's a great thing. All right? But these people walking out in the middle of halftime, pulling a Mike Missinelli, leaving the middle of halftime, then you want to come back. Nah, man, it's not like that. This is Miami Heat 2.0 right now. It is ridiculous. And we see more and more bandwagoners. And the thing is, Green Bay, they had a chance, they had every chance in the world to win this game. Every chance. Russell Wilson played horribly, all right? Actually, his leading receiver was Clinton Ha-Ha-Dix. He had more completions to him than anybody. It's ridiculous. He had 3 interceptions. Almost a 4th. But, you know what? Doesn't matter. Seattle went on. They pressed on. And, congratulations. And I put it like this. Because there was a lot that was going on during that. And yes, I'm still talking about bandwagoners. Because Packers fans, I'm warning you now. Right now. We have a certain celebrity who was backing you this entire time. That's right. And he is very known, us basketball fans know, he's very known from jumping from team to team to team. And for those who don't know I'm talking about, Packer fans, be very careful of this guy, Lil Wayne. The very same Lil Wayne that, like I said, used to be a Heat fan until he lost to the Dallas Mavericks. Then what happened? He went out and partied that night. Remember, he was a Heat fan. That night when they beat Miami and partied with Dirk and them with the championship. Then said, I don't care about the Heat. I slept with Chris Bosh's wife and all a bunch of other reckless things he said about him. Then he tried to be an OKC fan. And what happened? They kicked him out the stadium. Then he got mad, told him, oh, it was racist what they did to me. No, you act like an idiot. Same thing with Justin Bieber. He went from a Heat fan to an LA fan. This is what they do. They bandwagon. And you got to be very, very careful with that. And you know what? I want to say this now about people who don't bandwagon. All right? Seattle 12th man. Understand, Fox took a big shot at you, yesterday. They tried to blame you, the 12th man, for all the false starts on your own team. That's right, because we know the stadium is loud, your opponents can't hear, but then they tried to say the reason why all these false starts were happening is because your own team can't hear, and that you are the problem.
He is halfway to 100 yards rushing. Now, movement to snap.
Offense, number 77. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
And no team does this more than the Seahawks. They led the league in false starts. Well, and that's really surprising, too. And what's more surprising is over half of those false starts have occurred right here at home. So when you come here and you play against the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle, you expect to have problems with the noise, operating as an offense. Instead, we've seen Seattle now come offsides defensively, Michael Bennett a couple times, and now a false start offensively.
And while Seattle fans are still trying to be loyal, we also have friends now going after each other some are diehard, Seattle fans, while others don't even know what being a fan is all about, and we're so pissed off that they even contacted me personally. So the tweet that you're getting ready to see isn't me just picking on anyone. No, they sent me this. They said to me, please talk about this, because what he said, it's amazing how this guy's friend who slept through half the game, was like, oh, Seattle my boys. But then the 2 days before that, he asked him, who should I be a fan of? Yeah, let's look at the tweet right now. However, within all of this in-fan fighting that we're seeing within Seattle, it seems like they're really policing themselves really well. I'll give them credit to say that. Other sports franchises, their teams, their fan bases, please take notes on what Seattle is doing. Please. However, I will say this. Within all of this in-fan fighting that we're seeing on Twitter, Seattle Seahawks official Twitter messed up bad. And I mean bad. What they did was they compared their NFC championship win to slavery. That's right. And what they did was they got caught. And people started screenshotting it. And they tried to delete the tweet, but it was too late. So I'm going to show you it because it's a picture of Russell Wilson crying and talking about faith and everything. And up top it says, "We shall overcome." And when that happened, you know what? I'll just show you the tweet now, and I'll tell you what happened afterwards. So yeah, many people were very outraged at the fact that you would compare winning an NFC championship game to racism and slavery and years of injustice. So the Seattle Seahawks quickly tweeted an apology for it and say that, it got the best of us. They weren't thinking at the time. Please don't take it the wrong way, but we're just very passionate, about everything that happened. Now, I don't know if anyone's going to buy that. Personally, it may have just, for me, it may have been just, hey, it's just part of the moment type thing. You never know. But they did delete the tweet as if, oh, we got caught. You know what I mean? It's like, and now that you couldn't get away with it. And that's the problem I have with it right now. Because you wouldn't have apologized if nobody didn't see it. You know what I mean? If you said, oh, I made a mistake, deleted it, and no one caught you, then you wouldn't have said sorry. So, apples and oranges, y'all know how it go. You know what I mean? But I do want to move on. And we'll talk about the AFC Championship, because the AFC Championship, do we need to talk about this? Do we really need to talk about this? It was a blowout. It was an absolute blowout. The Colts didn't show up. Andrew Luck, everyone's like, oh, he's not throwing the ball well. And then we're hearing reports that the Patriots were deflating footballs on their opponent's end. Like, if this is true, because the NFL is investigating this, if this is true, you do realize, Patriots fans, that they're going to hold this against you. You should know by now, even if the Patriots go on to win the Super Bowl, you're still going to be looked at as cheaters from Spygate. And now deflating footballs. Like, really? Is this what you have to do? You have a great quarterback. Garrett Blount right now he's laughing up a storm and laughing right at the Steelers for letting them go. I mean, seriously, do you not understand the ramifications that you're going to come across if you win a Super Bowl? And I'm not trying to hear, we don't care. As long as we win, we win. You can't have that attitude. You can't. Play the game straight up. There's a reason you lost draft picks before, and that's what they said they're going to do this time. If they find out that you were purposely deflating these balls when it comes to the Colts, they're going to take draft picks away from you. And as you and I both know, you need a lot of help in secondary. So I don't know how you're going to deal with Seattle unless you can really put some pressure on Russell Wilson and have him have the game he had against Green Bay. But seriously, there's really no reason to talk about the AFC Championship. So we're getting ready for the Patriots in Seattle. And my question to you fans is, who do you want to see win the most? You're going to cheer on the Patriots, which is like they're known for cheating. The Patriots are known for being hated. The Patriots' hate level is probably up there with the Cowboys' hate level. And I say that because both teams will remind you of big regimes that spin. They're almost like the Yankees. They're so popular that a lot of people just hate them just to hate them. And as we know, it's a little different in football because if you win a number of Super Bowls, then you become America's team. In the 90s, and for that while, that stretch, it was Dallas is America's team. Then, when the Patriots won that stretch of those Super Bowls, it was they're America's team. Now, we still hear that, Dallas always says, we are America's team, blah, blah, blah. And then we see fans always combat it and say, no, you're not America's team. You haven't been America's team in like a decade or so because you haven't won anything. You can't be America's team if you haven't won, which should tell you winning is everything when it comes to fandom and when it comes to damn near life these days. If you're not winning, people don't give a shit about you. They just don't. You always got to be doing something. Like, it's crazy. Like, it doesn't matter if you play hard football, you play loyal football, you play the honest football. It doesn't matter. Winning is everything for some of these people. Or I shouldn't say some. Majority. That's the sad part. Like I said, Seattle fans walked out because they weren't winning. Then when they came back to win, oh, we're back again. Winning is everything, it seems. No matter the sacrifice. It just, and we talked about that before. Shooting up players with all types of Demerol and all kinds of stuff. Like, that's uncalled for, man. Winning isn't everything when you're putting your bodies and health on the line. And it's you're sacrificing already as it is to make it to that level. I don't know. It really bothers me. But that's my question to you. Who would you rather see? Would you rather see the Patriots win? Or would you rather see Seattle repeat? And I've already heard from people I already know, I don't want to see Seattle repeat. They won it last year. I don't want to see them do it again. Mind you, Richard Sherman, he predicted that they would go back to the Super Bowl and win it before the season started. Okay? A lot of people saying, I hate the Patriots. I don't want to see the Patriots win. Personally, just like the rest of these playoffs, since the Eagles have been eliminated, I don't care who wins. I just want to see an entertaining game. Just like I saw Packers-Seattle. That was an entertaining game. I sat there with a big smile on my face and watched it the entire time because it was entertaining. So, like I said, it doesn't matter to me who wins. I'll leave it up to you, okay? Now, I do want to move on about coaching changes already in the NFL. You think that they would wait till the season would be over to see who would be available, but they're not. For those who don't know, these are the recent coaching moves and changes in the NFL so far. I personally feel a number of those coaches, where they're at in those fit teams, I think it's a joke. Todd Bowles, really? He used to be here, and he couldn't do anything then. They're going to make him a head coach somewhere else. I swear, if he goes and excels, it's going to be like the biggest slap in the face for us Eagles fans. It is. Gary Kubiak going to the Broncos. John Fox going to the Bears. Like, I can see John Fox at the Bears, but Kubiak? Really? In the Broncos? Really? Like, I don't know. There's just so many that just doesn't make sense. Like Rex Ryan going to the Bills, he's going to have the same ideas. I don't think it's going to be any better. I mean, personally, I feel it's not going to be any better. I mean, Bills fans, it's up to you. Like I said, for those coaching changes, I will let you fans, please, talk about it. Positives, negatives, pros, cons, whatever you want to do. All right? But to me, it just seems like there's going to be a couple of flops in that, on those teams. I really feel, with those picks. You know what? Speaking of flops, let's get to the Griffin Force flop of the week. And for those who did not see, Colts Patriots, this lineman decides he's going to try and sell this flop when he's already on the ground and starts flopping like a fish in the middle of the AFC Championship.
Spots it at the 13. This time they stuff LeGarrette Blount. It was Arthur Jones who plugged it up. Look at Arthur Jones.
He was gone. He went for the flop. That was good acting. Didn't fool anybody, though.
No. You know what? That's not good enough. It's not. No. P.J. Hairston, for those that don't know, P.J. Hairston was guarding Tony Parker and decided to have this atrocious flop. So you know what? He's going to get the biggest Griffin Force flop of the week.
Score in other ways other than just a catch and shoot from beyond the three. You're right.
Speaking of basketball, I need to talk about this. I want to talk about this real quick. Basketball coach is suspended for 2 games after his team wins 161-2. That's right. And the coach on a losing team says what he did was wrong. Wait, what?
Play to win the game. Hello? You play to win the game.
What? What he did was wrong? Look, your team couldn't score more than 2 points. What he did was wrong. And the article goes on saying he was making subs. He was trying to tell the kids, don't beat on him so much. But all the kids were hot that night. Everyone was making shots. Nobody was missing. This team could have beat the Sixers. Look, I will put it like this. For you to suspend a coach for doing his job, because you're not supposed to sit here and say, okay, we've scored enough, they've learned their lesson. Look, if it's that bad, then let them quit. But until then, you run the score up. And you keep running the score up. You keep making a statement. You let them know this is how we play basketball. And if you can't score more than 2 points on your entire team, you should be looking at your coach and saying you're not doing your job. Not he did it wrong. You don't blame the guy who won the game. You blame the coach who didn't do a damn thing about it. I cannot believe, is this what it comes down to now? Is this what we're going to have now? Where it comes down to everyone's a winner. Everyone gets a trophy, even though you lose. Is that what this comes to? 160 what? 1, 2, I'm going to read this off on the computer. 161-2. You couldn't score more than 2 points? You couldn't, dare I say, try and draw a foul? And go to the free throw line? You got to tell me that you're going to blame a coach for this. For doing his job. Suspended 2 games. 2 games. For doing his job. So you're supposed to tell players, hey, stop playing good. Don't play to your potential. That's what you're telling them. I cannot believe this guy I can't believe he was suspended. This is ridiculous. But you know what? Speaking of ridiculous things, LeBron James. Gotta talk about it. As we know, LeBron James is back. And I find it funny that, and Black Brianna brought this up before, Cam Newton was in a car accident, as we know, and he came back and won 2 games back to back. No talk about that. LeBron James out for 2 weeks. Hey, let's have that all over Sports Center. LeBron James is back. As we know, he's playing hard, and he's playing like LeBron James. Now, some of you Cleveland fans have told me before, he doesn't have it in him anymore. He's washed up. And I'm like, yo, he's not washed up. It's the fact that LeBron James isn't being challenged. He has his rings now. What is he looking forward to? He's being complacent. Now that he's back and we're seeing the way he's playing pretty good. However, with that good play comes ego. And this is what I'm talking about, because Chris Paul gets pissed off at LeBron James for showing this type of ego after scoring.
4-point lead for the Cavs, but deep celebrating in front of the man. Come on with that, Bron.
All right, I'm going to play a little devil's advocate here. I'm going to do the pros and cons of this, because there's rights and there's wrongs in this part, okay? I'm going to say this, all right? Because for anybody who's ever been in the league game and you're putting up numbers, you're going to have those guys on the side jawing in your ear the entire time. So guess what? When you knocking them down and you putting up some serious points, what? What'd you say? Huh? Yeah, sit on the bench, stay there. I don't have a problem with celebrating against guys who are going to act a fool if they're going, hostile environment, if they're going to keep jawing at you and yelling at you while you're playing. By all means, throw it up on them, let them know what's going on. I don't have a problem with that because I've done it all the time when I play in leagues. However, this is professional basketball, okay? Those guys did not say anything to LeBron James. They sitting there like this. They're not doing anything. They're not yelling. We've seen it before in the past with other teams, doing all this and joking, yelling. We've seen that, okay? But in this isolated case, They did not do anything. They're just sitting there and they're just watching. So for LeBron James to score and start celebrating in front of their bench is absolutely wrong. It's wrong. All right? Like I said, I can understand if somebody was getting in his ear and yelling and jawing. Like I said, by all means, throw it up on them. Put up the points, get in their face, taunt them, do what you want, do what you gotta do. But that's not the case in in this situation. It just goes to show you with the immense talent that LeBron James has, also comes ego. And speaking of ego, I need to talk about this right now. Jon Jones, we talked about this last week about Jon Jones checking into rehab for cocaine addiction because he's abusing it, because that's what you do when you're checking into a rehab. You have a problem. It's not, oh, I just bumped the line. You know what I mean? Because I put it like this: a good brother does not give you a line to sniff. Because I don't want to reminisce over you. Y'all know the song. I don't want to reminisce over you. You too young to go. It's that simple. We're not gonna go there. All right. But the fact is, Jon Jones abused cocaine. However, tough guy Jon Jones, UFC champion Jon Jones, who is known to fight the toughest of toughest in his division, wasn't tough enough to stay in rehab. That's right, for those who don't know, Jon Jones went in rehab for 1 day. 1 day. So UFC champion can train for all the time, sacrifice his body and everything. You gonna tell me you couldn't stick out rehab for other than 1 day? Talking about, I'm going to take it outside and work on it that way. Nah. He even did an interview, last night on Fox Sports 1. And you know what? I didn't even tune in to hear what he had to say. Because that's how pathetic it is. You've got to be kidding me. As far as I'm concerned, take the title from him. And like you guys had said, in the comments last week, he is the meal ticket. He's the golden boy. They're going to give him a free pass. Yeah, they are, but you know what? It's not right. You got caught with cocaine, son. That's what it comes down to. You should be stripped from title, if not fired. They said they fired fighters for less. You should be stripped from the title. As far as I'm concerned, the two guys, was it Rumble? Rumble Johnson and Gustafson? They fight, is it this week? This Saturday, I think they fight? Yeah, by all means. They should be fighting for a vacated title as far as I'm concerned. We'll see what happens, though. Anyways, I want to move on to boxing. This will be the last part of the video. I need to talk about Stiverne versus Wilder. For those who missed that fight, that had to be one of the best heavyweight matches you will see in a very long time. At least I've seen in a very long time. Because this had everything it was planned to be. I put it like this: anybody who even doubted Wilder's ability to actually box instead of just getting wild and throwing punches and being strength, nope. He showed jab. In all places, jab. If he get too close, jab. If he even thinks about getting close, jab right straight. All day. Stiverne kept walking, which I didn't understand. He didn't cut the ring off. He just kept walking forward like this. You do realize if you come in like this with your gloves up, guess what? You're going to punch right through him. This does not work all the time. This doesn't work all the time. Philly shell doesn't work all the time. There's always a way to get around it, especially if a fighter is persistent with his strength. You have to understand that. Even back in the day, George Foreman, he'd fight like this. Guess what? You'd still get around it. You fight like this, like Floyd. You fight like that. You have one so you can shoulder roll. Guess what? There's still an exploit in every defense that you can find in boxing. In every style. It also depends on your speed. But you have to understand, when round 1, yeah, that works for you. This is working for you round 1. Come round 10, your hands is here now. You know what I mean? Because you're tired of holding them. And you're just taking punches. And we saw what happened. All day, jab straight. Stiverne, it got to a point, there was a couple times, actually there was 2 times, Stiverne was damn near saved by the bell. Because he was going down. I'll give Stiverne credit, he's tough. Tough Haitian. Tough. Alright, he was taking punches like a champ. But he wasn't giving them back. He couldn't do anything. He needs to go back. He says he's going to go back and look at the tape. Yeah, go back and look at the tape a lot. You didn't cut off the ring. You couldn't establish the jab that much because you're fighting a guy who's longer than you in length, and taller than you, so he has more distance, so he's going to keep his distance and keep hitting you, pot-shotting you with that jab. You had to try and step in. The only time he had, the only time he had some type of success is when he came rushing in, he got inside, and threw the left hook. And even then, Wilder was like, that's the best you got? Wilder took his best punch and kept coming forward. What does that tell you? Stiverne had nothing for him. That's what it says. Now, we don't know if, like I said, these two are going to fight. We don't know if it's going to be a rematch. I would love to see a rematch between these two. I would. Because it really did bring a lot of excitement to the heavyweight fight. I understand people wanted to see a knockout. Like I said before, the people who box, for those who know, knockouts only come when they're presented. Until then, you box, you box, you box until that opening happens. Then when that situation comes, you take advantage of it. You capitalize on it. That's how it works. No one just goes in, This is not tough man fight competition bullshit. This is boxing. And I know a lot of you people will say, well, Mike Tyson did it. Yeah, well, guess what? Mike Tyson would also get up close to you and hit you with power. Stiverne couldn't get close enough to Wilder to hit him with any type of power. And that's the thing. Stiverne weighed so much more. Deontay Wilder, he weighed in at 219 pounds. Okay? 219 pounds. Stiverne weighed in at, I believe it was 235. So Stiverne had a lot of weight to him, a lot of power to him. But he couldn't get it to him to use it. That's all it came down to. Circle the ring, jab straight. Circle the ring, jab straight, throw the hook. That's all he did. It was technical boxing all night. You had to appreciate the fact that a heavyweight, was sitting there and actually boxing, not clinching and punching all day. So I would love to see a rematch between these two, and if not, then Klitschko, you better get ready. Seriously. Because if you have to fight Wilder, and he's just going to keep training, because he said he's going to keep training right after this, he starts training, man, you in trouble, dude. You are in trouble. And I know people are going to say, yeah, everyone said that about David Haye. Don't even get me started about David Haye. All right, yeah, I'm going to fall all over the place, David Haye. Don't even get me started. You notice he hasn't really done anything since then. He went into acting. Yeah, that's what you're best at because you keep flopping all over the place in that fight. Go back and watch that fight with Klitschko versus Haye. And watch how much he tried to act. Yeah, it's best you go to the big screen. The fact is, this is what happens when you get a legit athlete like Wilder. And he can box. And I think he answered all this, as far as I'm concerned, he answered all his critics. Because everyone said he hasn't had a fight, they all ended in the fourth round. This fight went the distance. And he wasn't even winded. Why do you think boxers train? You think boxers train just for 4 rounds? No. Every boxer trains for 15. That's why we say we 15-round fighters. Because every person who says, oh, I can beat you up. Oh, I'm so angry I can beat you up. Okay, let's get in the ring and see. Round 4, round 5. Let's see if you still have that anger. Let's see if you still have it. Let's see if you even have the stamina. Because that's what it's about. It's about conditioning. The longer you go, the better. The person who's most conditioned and most technically sound, 9 times out of 10, will win that fight as long as they stick to their game plan. If you think you're going if anyone thought that Wilder was going to stand in one spot and throw at Stiverne, that would have been crazy. Stiverne would have won that fight. But that's not what this is about. Told you, boxing, 90% of boxing is mental. 10%, the rest, is technique and physicality. Game plan. 90% is mental. I'm telling you, if you've ever seen a boxer throw wild punches and miss, and then they just freeze up. Why? Because they lost their confidence. They don't want to throw anymore. They're like, I can't get this guy. I can't hit this guy. It's been 3 rounds, and I keep swinging hard, and I keep missing him. You got to keep confidence. It is a mental game. As long as it's also physical, it'll wear down on you, too. Anyways, I'm done. We have other boxing come up, I believe. Is it this week? I don't know. I'll be watching. Today's Tuesday. I didn't do it because of MLK yesterday. Tuesday night fights, I believe, will be tonight. I will be watching. If they put it on, I will be watching. So expect for me to talk about that as well next week. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. I'm out. Oh, you know what? No, I'm not out yet. I want to say before I end this, because I was supposed to, someone, asked me to request this. Shouts to the Atlanta Hawks. Yeah, y'all number 1 right now. Y'all beat the Wizards. Y'all playing good team ball, okay? Just wanted to say that. Anyways, I'm done. I'll talk to y'all later. Y'all be safe. I'm out.